You're back for another update. Let's take a look at XRP over here, and we could take a look at it on the 4-hour time frame. And what we see is a big inefficiency in the market right over here. Okay, this is your inefficiency. When I say inefficiency, basically it means when the price moves up too fast, it doesn't allow you basically have an untapped area or an untapped level of liquidity, and the thing with markets is that it always comes back to allow people to buy, right? Not always, but most of the time, especially when you have these gaps over here. So I'm thinking that there is a big possibility it comes down to fill this inefficiency before moving up higher. Considering we did hit the 78.6% fib this morning relative to the high on December 3rd. So if we take a simple fib from this high down to the low, we did hit the 78.6% fib right over here. And we can keep the analysis very simple. This over here is your inverted head and shoulders pattern, right? This is your left shoulder. This is your head, and this is your right shoulder. And I think the current correction is going to fake out a lot of traders, considering that there's going to be a huge inflow of money coming into the altcoin space, right? So there's going to be a lot of fake outs. There's going to be a lot of traps. So just be mindful of that, right? Be mindful of the fact that there's going to be a new influx of people coming into crypto that are going to want to buy all these coins. So just be careful when it comes to selling your spot bags. You don't want to sell your altcoin spot bags too early, but you also don't want to sell it too late. And right now you guys shouldn't be selling, because I feel like these dips that are happening, mostly all of them are just getting bought up right away. So we could keep it very simple. If we go below the neckline of this inverted head and shoulders pattern, which would be sitting at 246. So if we get a 4-hour close below 246, then it's likely will come down to fill this inefficiency here at around the 70.2 to 78.6% fib support. So if we take a fib from this low over here on December 10th up to this local high that we had this morning, and we take a look at the 702, and we can also take a look at the 786, but on the linear scale. We can take a look at the 618 as well. Okay, so notice how the 618 and the 702 fits perfectly right in this inefficiency right over here. So I think that if we don't see a bounce come in, or maybe even a double tap of 246 and then see a bounce from there, then I'm thinking that it would come down to this inefficiency right here at around 222, 215, and then see the bounce from there before continuing on higher. Okay, so there's there's an inefficiency over here, and something I noticed, and it's much more noticeable in crypto. Whenever you have an inverted head and shoulders pattern, so let's say this is your left shoulder, this is your head, and then this is your right shoulder. This over here would be your neckline. When you see a break above the neckline, you tend to see a throwback below the neckline towards the 78.6% fib. And in this case, it could be the 618. And then we continue up from there, rather than just back testing the top of this neckline normally and then having an advance off of the neckline. What you tend to notice is that the price comes down below the neckline, fakes out all of these traders thinking that, oh, okay, it's gonna have a really nice bounce off of the neckline, they get stopped out, then new shorts open up, and then those new shorts get liquidated, right? So that's what I'm thinking over here with XRP. If we will likely see a double tap of this 246 region right over here. I'll make it green so you guys can see. Okay, likely double tap this region right here. Okay, this was your intermediate range, your interim range that we broke out of. So I'm thinking a double tap and then a bounce. And if we don't see that double tap and bounce, then it's likely we're going to come down to fill this 4-hour inefficiency at the 61 to 70.2% fib at 2.2157 and 2.1474, and then see the bounce back above the range highs sitting at 290. Okay. Now, the worst case scenario is that we would actually have a C wave all the way down below $1.90. So if we end up losing $2 and 2.1474, if we end up losing this 4-hour inefficiency here as support, then it's likely that we're going to go in for a little bit more of a complex correction in which you have a 3-wave move down in your A, 3-wave move up in your B, and then a 5 down in your C, right? And this would take us to around $1.74, which would be the 702 from the November 26th low. Okay. So yeah, $1.74. You guys see that? The 618, and then the 702 is at $1.63. So it'd be something like this. And then what you had this morning was your deviation, right? This was your deviation above this range. And that's what you tend to see in crypto. You tend to see deviations a lot, manipulation-like moves, but that's why you need to hodl, and you need to hodl your bags because you don't want to miss out on the run. In a bull run especially, you have to be very careful. So it's always good to separate your spot bags from your trading bags, but this is what I think so far on XRP. Nice inverted head and shoulders pattern. Likely going to come down to back test, double back test, 246, and then see a bounce from there. If we don't see a bounce, then it's likely we're going to come towards this inefficiency and then shoot up towards range highs sitting at 290. And then we can go ahead and aim for the all-time high, which would be the 138.2% fib and the 1.236. Okay? So all I did to find that was I just took a simple fib from this high over here down to this low. Okay, so the next immediate target after this local high would be the all-time high. Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Peace out and take it easy. See you in the next one.